Welcome to a late or daytime IHP show with your very own 5D Mystic and 5D Mystic Stories, mentor, content creator, and podcast host, and the creator of Inner Growth Mindset Daily Practices and Journal Prompts. For those of you who are new, you find the link to the PayHip store below. And in the meantime, your edge, not your enemy. And if you didn't tune into any of our shorts, you will then not know why our edge is not our enemy. But that, as Nelson Mandela says, it always seems impossible until it's done. So when I look on the online world, no one's talking about self-leadership, from the embodied brain of a 5D mystic right here. Again, even though you don't have to be a mystic, all you really are going to want to understand is that you are a person who's emotionally steady under activation. So tonight, as we talk about some stories, my stories obviously, I do let you know I have a judgmental asshole. She's right here, but I also have a left, and it's not a delusional idiot. In fact, it likes logic because that's what embodied intelligence does, and that's anyone who's smart. And that's stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. And while some people think this means I'm cocky, I like to let you know, no, but that's where my judgmental asshole, she's still my weak spot. But then again, my left allows me, thanks to all the smart neuroscientists and neurobiologists, to remember where the evil word comes from. It's not lack of imagination. It's people who lack the education to know there is no evil in the way of stories. Did I mention a mystic? Yes, I also had good Christian Catholic catechists. And as a self-leader, which also means a differentiated self, as a 3-year-old, I said, you can't spank me. It's my body, to my mother. That's the primary caregiver, which tells you, if you're attachment trauma educated, that Maria did not break, and that luckily for me, my mother's not a monster. So I got all angry and I went to make my suitcase. And my twin, she instead went to hug my mother. And she did this, Mommy, I will never leave you. And that is to show you what temperament looks like from 2 3-year-olds and how our lovely temperament, personality patterns, thanks Dr. Dan, and attachment, safe, self-regulation. That's how I'm going to bring it to you. So I'm talking about Maria's body because I can't talk for everybody. Okay, so what's your edge? My edge is that mediocre people are not morons. No, they are. Excuse me, they're not dangerous. Do you see the judgmental asshole? I would say it's kryptonite, but it's not. Because right in this moment, I am completely aware of every shit that is going on. It's not shit. I went to the world with about what is right, not what feels right. And Buddha's making fun of me right now because that's the whole point of why it's a weakness. I am not indifferent, but I am equanimous, which is way different than spiritual bypassers, the 3D, 4D collective and community that I do still make fun of. Because weak ones, there's one thing weak people have always shown me, and let me tell you, it begins, well, I'm not going to bring in the 0 8-year-old. You see, children are all codependent, and I am the same. The difference is I can now at this age, and probably also prior to this age, I'm 46, I can soothe my 1-year-old. I can soothe my 3 to 7. My mother allowed me to be all my little angry butthole, and if you're curious about the biological father of mine, I had to wait 3 times. No, I waited 3 times to correct the words that came out of his mouth. No, not words, my name, my image. Every single bit of authenticity comes here because, see, there's no mask. And so whenever I'm feeling, thank you, they're all reminding me, stay on track. What's your edge? It's the place where you still get activated. Check. Mediocre morons. Shit, ignorance. I was in school on a Friday evening asking for homework and they booed me. They didn't touch me though. And some say that it's thanks to my twin. And I say, well, it's too late to know, but had they touched me, I would have ratted every single one of them out. And I would have said, yeah, I'm a tattletale. What do you want? Touch me again. Let me go and report you. I know what's going to happen to you. That's how it works when you're a goody two-shoe. Oh, and behind the scenes with the teenagers who are ignorant boys and girls, and then they grow up to be ignorant boys and girls as human beings who do this. Women, remember, gather round. Yes, Buddha, don't worry. I'm a channeler and downloader. They're all here with me tonight. They've been here all the time. I just don't channel them all the time. Wedding bells after someone fucks you. Technically, if you still have ignorant gender stereotype morons, no, you're trash. And polyamory are whores, according to comedians who make me laugh, because that's how a securely attached polyamory woman will say, wow, no, you can't kiss me. No, you can't fuck me. No, you're not in my polyfidelity vessel. No, this is not what this means. But hey, I'm having a good time having fun with you, because that's the point. When you feel good in your own skin, you don't take offense with people's words. Self-leadership, I'm just letting y'all know, it's called being yourself. So embodied self-leaders, the art of remaining. All the words in the world won't matter, by the way, because the left, put your left foot in and the right, so you put your left. There's another song that wants to come through, but my point is, not suppression, not performance, not spiritual bypassing. Nope, no somatic bypassing. And we sure as heck know that not all of our brothers and sisters will want to rise to that which is heaven in the body, because, well, not everyone wants to meet themselves fully, and that is sad for them, not for me. And so yes, I see dysregulated and modulated bodies in classes that I take for attachment and trauma education, and also out there in the spiritual land. So yes, spiritual bypassers, bountiful. Somatic bypassers, bountiful. Do they use the same words I do? Yes. Are they intelligent? No. Do you know who knows what intelligent ones are? And again, yes, thank God. God chimes in to remind me, stay down. So as I was mentioning, I'm not training my judgmental asshole. I'm just mastering her still. And so that's my edge. I do know when I'm getting activated, as I'm sharing with you all, the place where your nervous system tightens. Yes, it's, and I'm 4'9". So you see, when someone says that a perfectionist, the Enneagram says that we have an issue with anger because we have to preserve an image. And my image is right here. She's going to get older. She's going to get wrinkled, all this shit. No, my body's smart. My primary consciousness. In fact, my body, which is what makes a divine feminine, you can't attest it by no masculine. The left brain alone, and I am laughing. Again, thank you, God, for reminding me. I'm going to keep on doing this until I've mastered the entire plane of Maria, which is to tell you, my judgmental asshole, she forgets that not all of my brothers and sisters got to begin life the lucky way like I did. And so it's very, very important that I maintain that which is called humility. And under activation, as I am emotionally steadily breathing, look at me, calming down, getting back. And this is why the journal prompts and the inner growth mindset practices are only for the embodied intelligent ones, for the embodied self-leader ones, for those who are the art of remaining yourself, not changing yourself. The ones who change themselves, yes, let's applaud the ones who are doing the hard work, and they become their own self-leaders. Yes, we don't get to meet their fake fucking clown face like my facade friend. I'll ask you to be yourself. The only man I yelled in his face, he's still an asshole, and he still thinks I'm an asshole, and I'm okay with that. So you don't make people change, because that's not, asking me to change. Teenage boyfriend got this. I'm not changing. Another boy got, I'm not changing. And 4 years down the line, I thought you would change. And I said, I specifically spelled out to you the words, I will not be changing. This is who you have. And 4 years down the line, this is the sentence you tell me. Love him to death, still family friends. But I was like, this is confusing. So I'm not confused of my image. Anger, my body protects me. I won't win any kind of fight. I'll just be pummeled to death. And what good would that do? Nothing. In fact, nothing at all. Well, I'm thinking 3D, 4D might be happy that I wouldn't be around, because they cringe at ventral energy. No, it's just because the teenager version of the person, that's who's leading the way. And while I enjoy that there are therapists who are going to help drama kings and queens get out of their addiction to drama and anxiety, I've met the ones who, wedding bells, and they're followed by millions. And that is exactly why the place where you still get activated. This is my edge. Mediocre, immature, I call them morons. They think I'm a moron too. The place where your nervous system tightens, and then it's like, okay, shh, be quiet. Don't hold it in, though. You can find smart ones to go talk to, not vent, because venting is a yucky poison, which I stopped, by the way, at a certain point in my life. Asked 2 people to help me, but you can't, you're human. I can because I'm human, but you're not Buddha or Jesus. Well, that's nice. Today I have Sadhguru who shares you can be Buddha, Jesus, you can be him, basically what he's saying, and I know the science, you can be the sage, enlightened one who's a restored, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person. And therefore, you can be embodied self-leadership, emotional steadiness under activation. We do it again and again and again. panic attacks were the hardest thing because pure fear is pretty fucking scary. But luckily, Nutshell Lady gave me your narrative. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Your body, okay, 15 minutes. Okay, cool. I got a time frame. I got we're not dying. And it worked like a charm. When someone complains on Nutshell Lady's website or YouTube thing, you're telling us we have to put up with it? No, she's explaining to you so your left brain can now know what's going on, and so it can work with your right brain. Then if you want, and if you can, because not everybody can, you self-regulate by doing this. That activates your ventral vagal state or ventral energy. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. I didn't need any yoga, by the way, but I do know what yoga does. It's a portfolio of ventral toning exercises. But integration doesn't happen if you actually don't welcome all of your child parts, which is why good therapists are needed for some people. The smart ones go to them. The ones who are not smart think they can get away with doing other shit. I'm going to leave that one out of there. But yeah, there's no shortcuts in life. Teenagers. I had some who asked me to do their homework for them or to copy from me. I said, you're asking me for help, right? So help isn't me giving you a shortcut. Actually, that's me hurting you. I know you don't like my answer, but that doesn't matter. I don't agree with hurting people. And so since the shortcut isn't going to help you, it's going to hurt you, the easy way, you can find a million other people who will allow themselves to let you copy from them, not give a shit that you're dumb and that you're choosing dumbness. I can't, with all clear good conscience, as a goody two-shoe and a know-it-all, and I can't do it. It goes against my principles. That's all. No, it's not right or wrong. It goes against I have integrity. And again, I want to help you, not hurt you. So helping you means that I tell you the truth in your face, accept that you don't like it. Then I can, like a grown-up, not take offense when you say, and then I can keep on moving forward. And that's why mediocre people are not dangerous. They're just annoying to someone like me. But my judgmental asshole can make it seem like I think I'm superior. And I say I'm not superior to anyone. I'm on the floor. I just have opinions. They're not true or not untrue, grounded in reality. Any of my cherishable beliefs can be falsifiable. That's the other part that gets them. I'm not trying to prove I'm right. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And they're like, so what? I fucking wasted my time with you? Well, I mean, if that's how you're going to take it, I don't know. Did you waste your time? I just spoke for a long time. I don't think you wasted your time. The place where irritation rises before wisdom does, yes. And that's why I'm continuing to work with my edge and my judgmental asshole. And thanks to you all, I get to tell you, yeah, we are unbothered. It's just we're also irritated. So are we really unbothered? Well, it depends. It's again, while I'm under activation, meaning irritated, Kali, I have mastery over her. You know how amazing it is? Because I have also mastery over Shiva and Krishna Lila, who will explore the depth of curiosity and profoundness with curiosity, something like that. So Kali's not a monster, but when you mention her to people who use ancient news, they're like, oh, that was a monster, that's an evil one. And the ones who are also mediocre, ignorantly continuing with wanting to own all words with God, yes, we let them do their thing. It's hilarious. There's a bunch of different groups using a bunch of different words. Anybody who's having a fun time right now is like, yep, bring it on. We're all energy. Come on over. Anima Mundi. It's all one thing. Where's my Anima Mundi? Hold on. Let me grab my lovely cards. I know I have it somewhere, but you need to give me a minute. Yeah, hold on. Nope. Wait for it. There it is. There it is. I'm finding it. Give me 1 minute, and it's actually right near the lover. Here it is. So it's okay. The sphere and field of consciousness. It's all energy. I also recently watched a video about how we communicate with parallel universes. Yeah. So as a mystic and a channeler and a downloader, but a person who's grounded in reality, I bring human elements to the spiritual and spirituality. And I know of Dr. Daniel Siegel's Wheel of Awareness. I don't even know how many different planes I'm going to be able to bring forth for our community, obviously. Because seriously, I was like, okay, now I even understand the depth of the version of what 3D 4D is going to live. So I know who's going to stay stuck in their frequency. They don't have to stay there, but I know when they do. And then I know how they could actually get out of that. But let me continue with our edge. And how, yes, we're not failing. So, nope, nobody fails when irritation arises and you can catch it and say, okay, sometimes I'm wise, sometimes I'm a judgmental asshole, sometimes I can admit, no, I can always admit it. I'm doing it right now. So if you're conscious, if you're doing the work, if you care about emotional sovereignty and embodied self-leadership, you will still have edges, at least for now. And we don't really want to stop living life because seriously, who wants to live forever? Embodied intelligence, meaning consciousness, meaning life, meaning infinity and beyond. Did I show you guys my tattoo? Look. Double. Hold on. There's a reason for this tattoo. Oh my gosh. Anyone who is part of the 5D collective knows exactly how amazing it is. God's children. They're all perfect. There's no bad team. But the low frequency, they definitely don't. So what do cowards always do? Oh, that's right. I was telling you a story. Cowards are always the same cowards that I've always met. They lie, they cheat, they don't know how to have integrity, they continue to be selfish, which is why they don't create anything as sustainable. The reality is, like Diego's family in Ice Age, that's what happens to every single bit of that, which unfortunately didn't get a good start at life. So I do know how to blame, and if I wanted to, shame, blame, fault, revenge, but I won't. I'll just say a third attunement, repairing ruptures. It doesn't need to be a woman's bosom, because actively a woman has nothing to do with if you know how to self-regulate. And if you know how to be an empowered divine feminine of your own, which is the body in restored embodiment. So you know who are some of the most amazing empowered feminines? Yeah, you guessed it. Oh, they're not mystic. No, they're not even spiritual necessarily. No. Peter Levine. I cried every classroom that ended with him because of how he talks about what happens and how he knows how everyone can be healed. Then Dr. Daniel Siegel. And then we have Pat Ogden. And there's also lovely Stephen Porges. But Peter Levine, every time I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. So the bird with the broken wing goes to the cave and gets eaten by the cat. This is human. And I think of there's your 1-year-old mindfully, because I'm a mindfulness practitioner. And I think of it's not human that have a problem. No, it's people who are ignorant about human, don't fucking know where their mind. No, they know. They just like to use their imagination with a low dopamine hit. So as they distance themselves, dehumanize people, don't accept information, which is logic and intelligence, a person like me, a healthy perfectionist, ceases to hear anything except for one thing. They're sharing with me their perspective. Excuse me, you're confusing science and spirituality. I'm a little kid inside. Oh, look, I have another child. I want to play a game. Hey, let me play with you. Since I've been so used to the cowards, I'm just used to noticing with fun that they interrupted me, and I do it too. So I'm like, no, I do this. And then they say, no, I'm a mystic too. Okay, well, let me explain it differently, because men correct me saying I speak wrong. Also, being polyamorous is confusing. Women just want me to either pat them on the back or yell in their face. So that's how emotionally immature people, men, women, have told me that I apparently do something wrong. I, on the other hand, think, well, I know that I misunderstand things, because that's my brain sometimes doesn't hear right. Subjective reality. So I'm patient like anybody else. I don't get irritated by 3-year-olds, because that's the whole point. Subjective reality. I'm not an ego that actually thinks that I know everything, and I'm not a teenager who wants to be a spiteful asshole to other spiteful little dicks. I still don't like any teenagers because they are weak, but I understood that because that's normal. And that's the part of where the normal thing, though, now that I'm 46 and I'm seeing mid-20-year-olds, it's like your adolescent essence, you can keep it, but you need to start using growth mindset. If you don't know how to use your own nervous system, I got nothing for you. No, I do. It's called go hang out with this. I'm going to hold that back. They can go hang out with mediocre ones. That way they can have fun with 3D, 4D, and they can play pettiness together. So if you're conscious, if you're doing the work, on the other hand, when the edge comes around, again, if you care about emotional sovereignty and embodied self-leadership, you will still have edges. You will know it's not failing. You will know that you're refining yourself. And you don't even have to think of it as refining. The reason why I like to break things down the way I do is because I'm going to explain it to a 5-year-old. I'm going to explain it to anyone. As there are no kings or queens. There are no elevated any human being. So when I'm seeing someone dress up, the divinity thing, yes, I understand what they're saying. We're part of creatorship. Get down on the floor. Remember who God is. Remember who it is. Remember what your voice is supposed to stand for. And remember that, no, I'm not superior to anyone, which is why I can tell when my edge is coming up and I'm starting to sound like an asshole. And I am sorry. And that's why Peter Levine comes to my brain in all the dimensions of all those people, because they know what happens to 1-year-old. And when I had to see it with Dr. Daniel Siegel in one of my classes, I cried again. And I cried in every single one of my courses. So when I'm hearing spiritual bypassers call my brothers and sisters energy vampires, dark auras, when I hear somebody discounting, discrediting good therapists, when I hear any of teenager assholes out there who don't know everything, I don't know everything either, but they're actually putting teams And so that's the part I really don't like. Ignorance, it's distasteful. It's even more distasteful than someone getting off of your panic attacks. Then I really don't like seeing their actual insults of God's creation, the human species, because they're not sick, the human species. The ones who did end up sick, it's because they began in a world where it was unsafe to be in a body, you see? So I know where I can go. They did not get a third attunement. They did not get repairing ruptures. They did not get good therapy. They actively don't even think they need it. And when you meet Diego's family from Ice Age, remember, they always do the same shit, which is why they're stupid. Because once you enter your delusional pathology and you continue believing it, sooner or later you're going to end up being discovered by those who have common sense and are grounded in reality. Because it really begins to look bad. Neuroplasticity, the dark sides, I'm just letting you know, it's unfortunate business. It's not even funny. So it's sad. People need help, and I surround them all with good therapists. And then I remind people to stop talking about humanity like they're pieces of shit, because they're not. We're imperfect and flawed. There's a lot of things that go on, yes, and there's still a lot of unnecessarily violence that goes on. I still have a little girl in my mind's eye who was just being offered a juice box, but due to the fact that she's in physical danger, which is where catastrophe goes as a word, and even more, and if one day she's a serial killer, I'll understand where it came from because I know exactly what happened to her, which is why she's still in my mind's eye. This is an equanimous tone of a person's eye. I'm not going to blame the child. That poor child had to go through shit that the grown-ups, well, they're not really grown-ups, the ones who think they're grown-ups. In the meantime, I'm like, sure you are, whatever, keep talking. So, edges, I have plenty of them. Anyone does, but we won't justify our edges and insult people, so embodied mastery, it is feeling the activation and leading yourself anyway. It is knowing what your stories are, what information you have, what you don't. It's staying grounded in reality. It's no chips on the shoulder. For me, definitely one of my edges, as I presented to you, are the emotionally immature, mediocre people. When I see people refusing to grow, refusing accountability, staying small on purpose, something inside me, it doesn't just tighten. When I see stagnation, like my facade friend, I cringe inside because I'm like, I want your best interest. You can totally get into a nervous system that does not do this shit, but you don't want it, damn it. So I'm not superior at all to anyone, just so we're clear, but I do care deeply about human potential. That's why the podcast, the blog, it's all inspiring human potential, and it's always been about be yourself. Now I know why people don't want to, and I know how to tend to babies. The cowards are always the same. They will just do what cowards always do. And when they seek affection from someone who's a healthy, self-empowered woman, we won't reject them, shame them, because that don't teach no one no lesson. But if I didn't become your friend and you're a stranger, I will not feel guilty to say, no, we won't become friends. Yes, we do frequent the same place. No, and this is why a child, like a grown-up, in my prefrontal, my body speaks first, my mouth follows my body. I'm completely aligned. Can't you learn manners? I do have manners. It's just I'm not biologically rude, and I speak what I think because I'm not afraid, because I have a parent who, again, I was not afraid of. I'm not afraid of God. And actually, parents are not God, by the way. When someone says a parent is God, nope, no father, no mother, no everyone in flesh. Because if anyone were in any way, shape, or form embodying that, we would be singing Kumbaya right now on earth, like this very instant, just letting you know. So at the end of the day, when, I get all tightened, it's not my enemy. It's definitely a training ground, and you get to participate like you did right now with stories, points of views, and a lot of fun. Oh, so in these moments where I do think of things and get all activated, I do not react. I do try to refine, and so remember your edge, not your enemy. It is the exact place where your next level of steadiness is being built. It is the place where you are enlightening, empowering. It is the place where, with humility, you say, yeah, I can be a judgmental asshole. And I'm still working on it. And no, I'm not superior to anyone, but you better bet that when someone wants to insult my species, our species, and the stars, and God, and everything, I'm sorry. I know where it comes from. It's not rotten roots. Anyone who will say someone's unworthy to be loved, sorry. You can't. That is not in any way, shape, or form true. Every single human being and life everywhere is worthy of love. This is the part of why creatorship, call it what you will, anyone who is with integrity will know love, we all have the heart. So we don't reject. Thank you, Jesus, for teaching forgiveness. We understand healthy self-worth. And boundaries are not this, I'm a healer, how dare you chat with them, or me becoming friends with a man who, no, none of that. Anyone who knows how to forgive, it's, yeah, there's a lot of injustice and unfairness that comes, but guess what happens? Loops always close, because God don't abandon his children, and anyone who has ever doubted it and who continues to think that there's some superhero, supervillain stuff going on is someone who doesn't know how to use their own ventral vagal state. And so they're not in eustress. They're in love with the mask, fantasy, gratification hits, and a lot more. And it's not their higher potential. But if they want to stay in that way, it is what it is. So at the end of the day, thanks for stopping by. Remember, PayHip for those who do enjoy self-reflective practices with inner growth mindset daily practices, journal prompts. I'm still working on the bundles. You can become a paid subscriber for Spotify. We have some exercises, readings, and spotlights. We will have more. And in the meantime, let any of your friends know. YouTube, TikTok, that's where I will be doing some lives. I haven't for a while. We even have a 5D Mystic Skeptic Diary and a lot more coming. So thanks again for stopping by and have a good one.